Hi, I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling, the business psychologist and author of How to Hire the Best. At Tap the Potential, we specialize in helping small business owners rapidly transform their business into a highly profitable, great place to work. Take a listen to some of the results our clients are getting.
I work with Dr. Sabrina Starling. Actually, I've never publicly shared that I work with a business psychologist before, but I do. And her input, her direction has been extraordinarily important to the successes that I've experienced.
What surprised you about Profit First?
My wife has been doing most of it because she's a finance manager, and every time I need something, I go, gosh, we got to spend a lot of money. And she's like, all right. At first, it used to be like, well, give me a few months and I'll get the money together and then we can do it. And now she's like, yeah, we got the money. That just surprises me. I'm like, how do we have the money? How does that happen? You know? And she's like, this thing is working, unbelievable. But it amazes me that we can pay cash for everything.
So what was it like prior to Profit First when you needed to get that big ticket item?
I didn't get it.
Oh, that's good.
My name is Mike Bruno. I highly recommend working with Sabrina. The level of psychology that she adds on to the everyday business problem is, I think, really tremendously valuable. You know, you can't get it from reading a book. You can't get it from, sometimes just talking to other business owners. You really need to identify a problem, and then she actually helps you develop personal tools to be able to get through those issues from a completely different perspective.
Let me ask you, you're in business 37 years. You're now working with Dr. Starling, and I know you've been working with her for a while. My default thinking is such an established business, you probably figured out, you've been through everything, you figured everything out. Why would you bring on a business coach?
Well, I've been through the school of hard knocks, that's for sure, but some things you just don't learn along the way, and you have to ask for help. And that's where Sabrina came in. I needed help, and she has helped me turn this whole business around.
Mark, you say you have A players at your furniture store. I mean, you have top talent. How do you define that? How do you know that your employees are the best employees out there?
Well, because they can run the business if I'm not there. We get continual comments from our customers saying, boy, he's just a phenomenal employee. I really appreciate him.
And the first thing I did was I set up that profit account. And I took a certain percentage and I put that percentage into that account every time I made a deposit. We went from a $20,000 loss last year to over $220,000 profit this year.
Being in a really trusting environment with other business owners, being able to be 100% honest, be vulnerable. It's a really enlightening process to go through, to just be able to be emotional and vulnerable and just really dig deep inside yourself to make some changes that ultimately impact your well-being, interaction with family. Last year has been definitely a very positive impact in my attitude, which then trickled down to better relationships with my wife, my kids.
In talking to Mike, I could hear in his voice on the phone how much different he sounded, how much he sounded truly happier and more at peace and had more clarity in his conversation. He was just a profoundly different person. And I asked him, it was a 30-minute phone call, I asked him towards the end, I said, Mike, I gotta tell you, man, I am really happy to hear this difference in how, in how you sound and the phrases you're using. You're not being, you're not being negative. You're being, you're a different person, and I love to hear this. What have you been doing? Because Mike and I, similar industries, personalities, and backgrounds, and Mike said, I've been working with this really great business coach, and she doesn't put up with anything from me.
I've got a spiritual sense that when you are responsible with something, you just get more of it. Just to give you an example, last year I said, honey, can you print me out the profit loss statement? We only had a 6.6 increase, okay. But guess what our net income was? A 40% increase. How does that happen?
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I was shocked when I read it.
But did you feel an impact? Did your lifestyle have to ratchet back?
Well, I can tell you this: we gave more money away than we ever have personally. We bought a new Zamboni for the Hockey Association.
I needed additional help because I already knew that I was my own worst problem, and it's a question of how do you get yourself out of your own way, because the business is a reflection of me. It's really morphed into something a lot more powerful for me, and that's, my relationship, not only with the business, but more importantly with my wife and my family. And Sabrina has really taken a very personal interest in making sure that I see things in the light of truth. And I have to be honest with myself, and she'll call me on it, and that's okay. I can see that when she says it, and sometimes it's hard to accept, but it's the reality. She's very honest with me. She's given me a lot of great advice, not just for the business, but more importantly, for my relationships, specifically with Diane. And if I can make those relationships in my life work better, business is all about relationships. Business is all about people and relationships. And the better I can perform at those relationships and the happier I am on the inside, then the business just rides in the same car and we're going to the same place.
So if you want to elevate your game, a business psychologist, specifically Dr. Starling, is the person to go with.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. Let's see if we can help you. Fill out the application below. Talk to you soon.